Hey, what's up? Jake with MC Construction, back here at it again. We're going to be talking about back-to-back 90s. In this video, I'm going to show you the most simple way to bend back-to-backs. When you are bending back-to-back 90s, make sure you know how to bend a 90 first. If you do not, check out my video on conduit bending and how to bend a 90. Okay. Second thing is, you have to know the takeoff. So whether you're using 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch pipe, make sure you know your takeoffs, which is on the bender. Okay. Then here are the 4 main things you got to do when you're bending a 90. First, find the stub height and distance between 90s. So if this is my back-to-back, your stub height would be how far you want your pipe to come down, and then your distance between your 90s would be the outside to outside measurement. Make sure you understand that. It's the easiest way to do it. It's outside of the pipe first 90 to the outside of the second 90. So outside to outside. Then you can bend your first 90 to stub height using the arrow. Bend your second 90 at distance between 90s using the star. And then cut your second stub height to the same stub height as your first one, because you're usually going to have a 10-foot stick. So your second stub height is going to be a lot longer than your. So in bending a back-to-back 90, the first most important thing is getting your bender laid out properly. Okay, so you're going to start with bend number 1. We're going to bend a 12-inch 90. You're going to bend it just how you would always bend a 12-inch 90. I like to use the arrow, and we'll subtract 5 for our takeoff. So I'll put our first mark at 7 inches. You can go ahead and bend that 90. After you bend that 90, then you can take your measurement for your second bend. I like to slide that pipe up against the wall. I'll measure off the wall. We're going to do 32 inches in between our bends. So after you bend that second 90, then you'll measure 32 inches. You're going to turn your bender the opposite way, okay, and you're going to use the star. All right. Now you do not do any takeoff when you bend the star. Okay. I'm gonna run through this on the ground. That's going to give us the best angle. So here's the tools you need. So we talked about the first stub up is going to be a 12-inch 90. Okay, so I'm going to measure off 7 inches because I'm going to use the arrow on this one, and I'm going to subtract 5. So I'm going to put a mark at 7 right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bend my first stub 90, and I'm going to use that arrow right there. I don't know how well you can see that, but I got my arrow on my 7-inch mark. I'm going to bend that up. And then I can use my level here and make sure it is good and level. Alrighty. Now that I've bent my first 90, as I talked about before, I'm going to slide my pipe against the wall here. Okay. I got a little lip on this wall because of the baseboard material. But I'm going to measure off of that here. And I said 32 inches. Okay, so we're going to have 32 inches between our 90s. So I'm going to put a mark on 32 right there. And then I'm going to use the star method to bend my 90. Now when you bend this, you need to make sure that your bender is in line with your other 90. So what I'm going to do first is get my bender on the pipe. Okay, and I'm going to put the star on my mark here. Now I'm just going to apply pressure so it don't move. Okay, but we got to have that bender lined up directly with our other 90. I can't tell how straight that is, but once I put it on the ground, I'll be able to tell a little bit better. But you want them straight in line. That way, you don't have to worry about the 90s kind of offsetting each other. Okay, so you can go ahead and bend that other 90, and you're going to do it the same way. Alright, and you're going to use your level until that is perfectly straight. Alright, now you can check your measurements, and we should have, the pipe should be flat on the ground, and you should have about 32 inches in between them. Now, I got about a 32 and a 1/16 right there. You can adjust it however you need it to fit. I can just push one in or out the other way as I need possible. A quick tip, as you can see, if you have a stub up that's 12 inches or less, you definitely want to bend your box offset before. Like if this is probably about 16 inches here, if I had a 16-inch stub up, then I could easily bend a box offset on that. But if I wanted 2 12s, I just measure off the floor here, and then I would cut that at 12 inches.